What's up, Falcons Nation? It's your boy Jew coming at you with another Atlanta Falcons video. As always, Falcons Nation, rise up. In today's video, I would like to recap yesterday's loss between our Atlanta Falcons and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs actually won the game 17-14. But if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell so you'll know when I've done Atlanta Falcons content. Hit that like button for your boy. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for continuing to support the channel, continuing to share out my content on all the social media platforms. If you would like to follow your boy on Twitter, you can follow me at JewTalkSports. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the Christmas holiday. I definitely enjoyed my family during this season. That's what it's all about, showing love, giving gifts, and just cherishing every moment that you have with your loved ones, because this year has been really crazy. Life isn't promised to us. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this time of year, this holiday season. Also, I want to wish you a happy new year. We're heading out of 2020 into 2021. So we're all hoping for a better year next year. But I definitely want to wish you guys a prosperous new year. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the quick video. So I do want to recap yesterday's game, yesterday's loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. It was a lot of good things that I've seen in the game, even though it was in another loss, another close loss. We've actually lost 7 games this season when it's come down to 6 points or less. So we've lost 7 games. We're 0-7 this year when it's come down to one possession games. And that just goes to show you that the margin of error from the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that's 14-1, they showed on the telecast yesterday during the game. The broadcasters talked about us being 0-6 prior to yesterday's loss in one possession games, and the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending champions, the defending Super Bowl champions, being 7-0 in one possession games. So the margin of error for the NFL is really, really small. I don't think that this Atlanta Falcons team or roster is far from contending for another, going to another Super Bowl or contending for a Super Bowl title. I do think that we can get back to a Super Bowl with the way that this roster is built and constructed. We still have the core unit here that was here in 2016, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones. We added Calvin Ridley. At that time, we had Mohamed Sanu, but now we've upgraded, got Calvin Ridley. Russell Gage has done a great job of coming on as that third wide receiver. We have a number of running backs. I don't think that this running back core is better than Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman, but I do believe in the offseason we possibly can bring in another running back, possibly through the draft, or maybe a veteran running back that we can bring in. But I do think we can do it with the running backs that we have as well, just running back by committee. But yesterday, it was a lot of bright spots I've seen in the game. Matt Ryan outplayed Patrick Mahomes in this game. If you go look at their stats, Matt Ryan threw for 300 yards and Pat Mahomes threw for like about 370-something yards. Pat Mahomes threw an interception. Actually, yeah, he threw an interception to a Foye Oluokun in the red zone, like on the goal line. So Matt Ryan didn't throw any interceptions in the game. He didn't lose any fumbles. He played very well. I believe Matt Ryan was something like 27 of 34 or 35, and he had a completion percentage of over 60% completion rating, and he also had a quarterback rating of like 120 something, like 121.1 or something like that. So Matt Ryan played at a very high level yesterday. He's looked very good since that bad game he had against the LA Chargers. So he's kind of silenced a lot of the critics that were talking about him after the LA Chargers game, possibly being replaced, by a rookie QB next season, or even being traded to another team for a veteran QB. So I was really proud of the way that Matt Ryan has played the last couple of games, especially against stiff competition. Like I said, this Falcons defense played excellent yesterday, holding Patrick Mahomes to only 17 points. that vaunted offense, the number one passing team in the league, the most explosive team, or one of the most explosive passing teams in the league, with Andy Reid, who's an excellent play caller. Him and Eric Bieniemy, they do a great job over there with the Kansas City Chiefs. Their team is built around the offense, similar to our Atlanta Falcons. I thought the game was going to be more of a shootout, being scored in the high 20s and 30s, but it actually was a defensive game pretty much all the way through. Like I said, the final score was 17-14. Younghoe Koo missed a game time field goal where we could have went into overtime, but we really can't be mad at Younghoe Koo at this point, just for the mere fact of he's pretty much been great all season. He's on going to the Pro Bowl this year because he's been the most consistent kicker in the league this year in the NFL, in Younghoe Koo. So we can't really be mad at this guy. He's pretty much answered the bell all season long. This was the first time, this year that he didn't come through, in the clutch moment. So can't really be mad at Younghoe Koo. Sometimes you're going to miss plays. Players have dropped passes this year. Calvin Ridley, Russell Gage in clutch moments. So we can't really be mad at Younghoe Koo. We do hold our team and these players to a high expectations. And I have high expectations because I do want to win games, and that's what it's all about. But at the end of the day, Younghoe Koo missing that field goal yesterday was just a culmination of the way that this season has panned out. I mean, this has been, like I said, it's been a crazy year in 2020. It's been, a crazy season for our Atlanta Falcons. We've lost so many games this year. I talked about it. 7 games this year. And a lot of those games we had leads and we blew leads. We've been blowing leads pretty much all season. And I pretty much put that on the coaching staff, and I put that on the players just not making plays. I always talk about it, that there's 3 or 4 plays in a game, or a handful of plays in a game, that swing the momentum of the game, and also that can cost you the game. In this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, Foye Oluokun intercepting the ball, and he was in the clear. Looked like he was going to score a pick six. He was going to score a touchdown, and Tyreek Hill chased him down from behind and knocked the ball out of bounds at like the 50-yard line. So he prevented that touchdown, which would have really been, could have been, the difference between us losing and us winning the game. AJ Terrell made a nice play on the football towards the end of the game. The play before Pat Mahomes threw the game-winning touchdown, AJ Terrell went up and high-pointed the football against Tyreek Hill, and when he hit the ground, the ball, popped out. So it's been plays like that all season long that's kind of riddled our Atlanta Falcons. But it was, like I said, it was a lot of positive that I took from this game. Going into this game against the Kansas City Chiefs, I did believe this game was going to be a litmus test for our Atlanta Falcons to see what type of team we have. The Kansas City Chiefs have only lost 1 game this season, and we had those guys on the ropes. So that just shows you how great and how much talent that we actually have on this team, even with the incompetent coaches that we have, because we've had bad coaching pretty much all season. This team still continues every Sunday to play with character. They continue to rise to the occasion week in and week out. Guys like Grady Jarrett, one of the captains on the defense, Deion Jones, Foye Oluokun, Keanu Neal's playing lights out. All of these guys, AJ Terrell, even Isaiah Oliver has come along and continued to improve. Jacob Tuioti Mariner, he's a guy that's developed this season and has turned into a contributor. Steven Means at the defensive end position is another guy that has stepped up, being that Tat McKinley was let go. Steven Means stepped into the starting lineup and has really played well for our Atlanta Falcons. So all of these guys, man, have continued to develop and step up all season long. On the offensive end, Matt Ryan has pretty much played lights out for the majority of the season. Calvin Ridley has taken his game to another level this year, and he balled out again yesterday. Calvin Ridley has actually had 4 consecutive games now with over 100 yards receiving, and he has on the year almost 1,400 receiving yards. So Calvin Ridley is one of those guys that has taken his game to the next level, and he's just going to continue to be a nuclear weapon for our Atlanta Falcons. Once we get Julio Jones back next season, back healthy from that hamstring injury, this offense is going to be very explosive. I do believe if we can bring in an offensive-minded coach, which I really believe we should bring in an Eric Bieniemy or Arthur Smith from the Tennessee Titans, or the guy Duval, Brian Duval from the Buffalo Bills, their offensive coordinator. One of those guys I really think can come in and can get this offense, take this offense to the next level. Because this year, Dirk Cutter hasn't done a good job of putting these guys into positions where they can succeed. He hasn't been creative on the offensive end of calling plays to scheme guys open the way that we were able to do in 2016, where Kyle Shanahan was able to scheme like guys like Taylor Gabriel open, was able to create running lanes for guys like Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman. And I think bringing in one of these offensive guys, these offensive gurus, will really help this team. Matt Ryan, since he's been with our Atlanta Falcons, he hasn't consistently had a coach, an offensive-minded coach. He's always had defensive-minded coaches, Mike Smith and Dan Quinn. He's never had an offensive guru running the show. But I really think if he had like a Matt LaFleur, that's the coach in the Green Bay Packers right now. If you look at Aaron Rodgers and the success that he's having since Matt LaFleur has gotten there, it's really, really great what Matt LaFleur is doing right now in Green Bay. He actually was our quarterbacks coach in 2016 when Matt Ryan won the MVP, and we were able to go to the Super Bowl, him and Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator, and I believe that's what we're missing here in Atlanta. Ever since Kyle Shanahan left, in 2016, and we got Dirk Cutter back, this offense continued to go downhill. After Kyle Shanahan left, if you remember, we brought in Steve Sarkisian, and Matt Ryan actually had a pretty good season in 2017. He had about 35 touchdowns and I think about 7 interceptions or something like that. So he had another great season. But ever since Kyle Shanahan left, with the creativity and the explosive plays that he was able to design, he really was able to keep Matt Ryan and this offense on schedule. He was able to keep the team balanced on offense with running the football and mixing in the play action. And he knew how to set up plays. And we've been missing that ever since Kyle Shanahan left in 2016 to be the head coach of the 49ers. So I really think that it's time for us to bring in an offensive-minded coach. But like I said, I know I'm kind of all over the place with this video, but like I was saying, I really think yesterday's game just proved the way that we played the Kansas City Chiefs, a team that's only lost one game on the season. We fought them tooth and nail right down to the bitter end, and our team played very well on defense. I feel like if we can add up front another defensive tackle, like a bigger guy to play on the inside with Grady Jarrett, and if Marlon Davidson can continue to develop, I really think that we're going to have a very good defensive line. If we can bring in another defensive end to play on the opposite side of Dante Fowler, and then maybe we can bring back, I think Jacob Totoy Mariner is still under contract, if I'm not mistaken. But if not, I definitely would bring him back on a short-term contract. And I even would think about bringing back a guy like Steven Means, because I think that those guys are good rotational pass rushers. They've proved down the stretch in this season that they're solid players. They're not the best, and they're not going to be your starters, your day one starters, but they can be serviceable. They've proven to be serviceable type players. If you play them in the second and third string in a rotation, I really think that those guys could really help our Atlanta Falcons going forward. We just need to bring in another stud defensive end. So right now, I think we're sitting at the either third or fourth slot right now for the NFL draft. Currently, I believe we're in the third or fourth spot for the first round of the NFL draft. So if I were the Falcons, I've been hearing a lot of people say trade back, and I wouldn't mind trading back for more picks. But if it's a solid guy there at the defensive tackle position or the defensive end position that you can't pass up, like the kid out of with the Miami Hurricanes, I forget the kid's name, but he's a defensive end, and I think he's a guy that really can help our Atlanta Falcons. He goes about 6'7" or 6'6". He got very long arms. He's good off the edge. I think the Falcons really need to bring in one of these long arm, like Chase Young type players that can come off the edge and be, help Dante Fowler, help Grady Jarrett alongside this defensive line. I do think that the linebacking core is pretty much set. Deion Jones, Michael Walker, and Foye Oluokun. We have three of the best linebackers in the game, one of the best linebacking cores in the game. And I also love what I'm seeing out of the secondary. Yesterday, Keanu Neal had an interception. AJ Terrell almost came down with an interception himself, but he's played well all season. If we can bring in or keep these guys around, Darqueze Dennard is another guy that's a veteran we brought in. If we can keep this defensive back or defensive secondary together, I do think we have some pretty good players on this the secondary on that third level. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Isaiah Oliver. I was hearing a lot that they would want to try him at the safety position, at that free safety position. I wouldn't mind seeing him at that free safety position. I just don't know if Isaiah Oliver, knows the position. It will take him time to develop and learn how to play that safety position, because the safety is like the captain of the secondary. He has to be able to, tell guys where to go. Like Rico Allen. Rico Allen is one of the best guys at getting guys in position. He's one of the captains on that defense. He knows exactly what everybody's assignment is. And Isaiah Oliver is one of those guys that's only been in the league for a couple years. And I'm not too sure he has the athletic ability and the tackling ability, the physicality, I think, to play that safety role. But I think he would need somebody to mentor him into that role. But I wouldn't be opposed to seeing an Isaiah Oliver possibly get a chance at playing that role. But if not, I would like to see the Falcons bring in the draft one of these young free safeties, maybe a guy that already plays a position, and maybe not try to bring in or use Isaiah Oliver, a player that's never played the position. I would rather have somebody that's naturally already played the safety position to come in out of the draft, or maybe even bring back a guy like Damontae Kazee. Damontae Kazee is a guy that a lot of people are forgetting about. He got injured early in the season, and I think the Falcons could possibly bring him back on a short-term prove-it deal as well. Him coming off, I think he either had an ACL injury or Achilles. I can't remember which one he had, but he had a season-ending injury early in the season. But Damontae Kazee is another one of those guys that's a rotational guy you can use at that safety role. Maybe he can be a guy that fills in until that free safety we bring in out of the draft can develop. We also have a guy like Jalen Hawkins, who's continuing to develop at that safety role that we drafted this year out of the University of Cal. So it's a lot of guys I like on this back end. I love Kendall Sheffield, AJ Terrell, Isaiah Oliver. I think that all of these guys have shown promise this year as the year has worn on. And Keanu Neal is back to playing at a Pro Bowl level. He's flying around, flying up, blowing up these screen passes. He's flying downhill, making big tackles, stopping guys short of the marker on third downs and stuff like that. He actually had a nice interception yesterday on the trick play where they tried to do the toss back to the quarterback, and he was able to pick them off. They were trying to throw the ball to Pat Mahomes, and he was able to come down with a nice interception. So it was a lot of bright spots I took from the game. Like I said, I've been very impressed. As small as this defense is, we're ranked 9th in stopping the run. But we're ranked, I think, 32nd or 31st in stopping the pass. So it's really been a culmination of no pass rush and, guys not making plays in the secondary. But mainly it comes down to pass rush. When you don't have the guys up front that can get pressure on the quarterback, and you give quarterbacks all day to throw, the way the rules are set up nowadays in the NFL, it's almost impossible to guard these wide receivers. They're just too great of, athletes to have all that time with a quarterback sitting back there all that time. And, you're relying on these corners to try to cover these guys and plaster these guys for, 8 to 10 seconds. It's impossible. So I put mainly a lot of the, the problems that we're seeing with the Falcons right now on the pass rush and on coaching. Like, coaching has lost This season, I know coaching at least lost 5 of those 7 games that we lost that came down to the last possession. The game against the Lions was a coaching issue. Todd Gurley scoring that late touchdown where we could have just kneeled and kicked the field goal. The game against the Cowboys early in the season where the players were told not to pick up the onside kick and to wait till the ball went 10 yards was another bad coaching experience this year. And those are just a few games that I remember just offhand. The game against the Chicago Bears where we had the lead, us running an all-out blitz and leaving guys, on the islands by themselves, where they were able to throw the game-winning touchdown in that instance. And then a week ago against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we have an undrafted rookie player trying to cover Antonio Brown, a future Hall of Famer, one-on-one with no safety help. Like, these are the plays that I'm talking about that's pretty much cost us this season. And I put it mainly, like I said, on coaching. I do believe bringing in a new coach will change the culture. Bringing in a good GM that knows how to bring in those physical players in the trenches, I really think will also allow this Falcons team to get back to its winning ways. But like I was saying, I don't think that this team needs a full rebuild. I just think we need to retool and bring in just a couple more pieces to go along with what we already have on this roster. Because I believe we really have a solid roster. We just need to add a couple ancillary pieces to this main core of this team. And I think we'll be right back in contention. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, I really think us playing the Chiefs yesterday, as tough as we played them, just goes to show that this Atlanta Falcons team really underachieved this year. And that's mainly been on the coaching staff. I blame a lot of the issues, the creativity, the non-creativity on offense, the poor clock management by Dan Quinn and by Raheem Morris. And from the top down, Arthur Blank, those guys not doing a good job of, monitoring Thomas Dimitroff when he was here and allowing him to basically, forsake the trenches, not drafting in the trenches year in and year out like you always should have been doing. So with that being said, this me your boy Jew. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. I definitely have a lot more content coming for you guys. I'm also thinking about starting NBA content. You guys let me know what you think about me doing NBA content. I believe I'm going to start NBA content this week as well. The NBA season just started, and I want to give you guys a lot more content. I'm actually a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, so I'm going to be doing Cleveland Cavaliers content as well. But I also be doing all NBA content, not just Cleveland Cavaliers, but I am a Cleveland Cavaliers fan and a LeBron James fan. So I've been a Cleveland Cavaliers fan since LeBron got in the league, and I always will root for LeBron, but the Cleveland Cavaliers is my squad. So I'll be giving you guys Cavalier content, and then also just talk about NBA content all the way around, because I love the NBA just as much as I love the NFL. It's 1A and 1B to me. So I want to give you guys the best content possible. So you guys let me know what you think about me doing NBA content. Let me know what you think about the video, about this NFL season so far. What do you think about the game yesterday between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Atlanta Falcons? But with that being said, this been your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. If you have a video that you would like me to drop, maybe on a certain coach, definitely drop your comments below. I love to do a video. If you have an NBA team or some NBA content that you want me to tackle, definitely drop that in the comment section also. But with that being said, this has been your boy Jew. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. Help your boy get to 1K, 1,000 subscribers. I'm going to keep bringing you guys the best content, not just for Atlanta Falcons, but that NBA content coming for you guys as well. This is me, your boy Jew. I'll holler at you guys in the next video. And as always, Falcons Nation, rise up. Peace.